Hi YouTube, my name's Kerry. I'm about to embark on my weight loss journey, and I thought maybe I could do some videos about that. Seems to help a lot of people. Their videos have certainly helped me, and maybe I can help somebody else. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself and how I got here and why I've decided surgery is the way to go, and I guess we'll see what happens from there. Mostly I've been inspired really by a lot of the people that I've seen on YouTube. I've never really used YouTube for much in the past, so I'm definitely a newbie. I've used it to teach myself how to crochet. I used it to break into my car, or not find out how to break into my car when my husband locked the keys in there. And now I've used it as part of my research, I guess, into weight loss surgery and if it's going to be good for me or the right thing for me. A bit of a glimpse, I guess, into the future of what I could maybe achieve or what might be in store, which is, I guess, always nice for the anxiety and the nerves of, you know, embarking on something that is huge. It's huge. It will change my life. So a little bit about me. I'm 30 years old. I live in Toowoomba, Queensland, and I'm going to have a vertical sleeve gastrectomy on the 15th of September 2014. So on Monday, that will be 5 weeks pre-op, and I will probably do weekly updates on a Monday, because that will work really well, I guess. So I thought I'd put up a quick "this is me" video. So I grew up in Brisbane, Queensland, and I'm one of 4 children. My mother is Eurasian, so my grandmother was Spanish Filipino, and my grandfather was such a mix of races, we just go with Eurasian. Makes things easy. My father is Finnish, so blonde hair, blue eyes, definitely doesn't look like this face. But, you know, my parents, they mixed together and made me, and I guess I've got the best of both worlds, the Asian skin and the Finnish sense of humour. So that's me. I moved to Toowoomba about 18 months ago, and there is no way I could have ever conceived how this move would have changed my life. I moved up here with my husband, who I married in 2010 after a whirlwind of dating. So we were probably only dating for about 3-4 months when we got engaged, and married the following year, so that happened really quickly. But he is the most amazing person that I know. He puts up with me and my nuttiness. He is a high school teacher. It took him 12 years to finish his degree, and that's the reason why we moved up here last year. He got his first teaching job here. So we've been very fortunate that he was able to get such a great job straight out of uni. It doesn't happen very often to get a permanent position in a Catholic school in a relatively big city. It doesn't happen very often, so we've been very fortunate. So, don't know if you can see it. This is a picture of the moment I thought my life had changed. The day I got married. The 13th of February 2010. It was a good day, but not the day that changed my life. I've had a couple of days that have changed the course of it. I think I'm looking down the barrel of a day that will definitely change my life. But that wasn't the day. It was a good day, but it wasn't the day. So I've probably been overweight my entire adult life. I moved out of home quite young, moved away from home for university when I was 18, and pretty much lived on chips and gravy and 2-minute noodles. And I went from a size 12 to a size 18 in my first year of university. That was difficult. I was a dancer growing up, so from the age of 2.5 I was a competitive dancer, and stopped dancing when I was about 15. Financially it was difficult for my family to continue paying for those dance lessons, I guess. I did dance at school, but other than that, I didn't get the same kind of physical activity as I was when I was competitive. So I had some pretty shocking eating habits. It comes from being in the dancing world, I guess, really young. So disordered eating from when I was about 8 or 9. I remember throwing up a lot after meals from when I was about 8. And at first we thought it was, just a phase, but I knew that I wanted to look good in my costumes. I was starting to hit puberty. I got my first period when I was 9, and my boobs were coming in, and nobody else was going through that at that age, and that was a difficult time for me. And then when I stopped dancing, I continued to eat food. I wasn't throwing up anymore because other people's bodies looked like mine. So I didn't feel like I had to lose weight anymore. And then I started to gain weight because I wasn't exercising as much. And it's steadily increased since I was 15 to where I'm at now, which is 112 kilos and 152 centimetres tall, so about 5 foot. I've had quite a few relationships where, my first major one, my weight was an issue. Mostly because my partner at the time had issues with his own weight, and that was passed on to me. That relationship didn't end very well at all, but it certainly opened my eyes to how other people's body images are often reflected outwards, and it makes people critical of others who remind them of how they are. And so I've never wanted to be like that. And then I guess I met my husband, who is an amazing man. He's a big man, but he's an amazing man. Has never made me feel insecure about my weight or how I look, even how I cut my hair. So he has always allowed me to be exactly whoever I wanted to be when I wanted to be them. So that's very special. So when did my life really change enough for me to make this decision? I guess that would have been last year. So we moved to Toowoomba, which is about an hour and a half drive, 2 hours drive from Brisbane. The previous 2 years, my husband was finishing his degree. He was working almost full-time as well so that we could afford to live. And he'd been quite unwell, having very huge issues with his digestion, I guess the end part of digestion. So alternating constipation, diarrhea, for a significant amount of time. We sought a bit of medical assistance. We saw our GPs, and they didn't really think anything of it at all. And I did a little bit of research and saw that it could have been one of two things: cancer, which, you sort of go Google, yeah, whatever, or gluten intolerance. So we went on a gluten-free diet, and he started to feel better. and he started to lose weight, which was good because, you know, when we got married, as you can see, we're big people. We were grossly overweight. I think on my wedding day I was about 120 kilos. My husband was about 130 kilos. So, you know, we were chubby, more than chubby. So when he started to lose weight and I didn't, I was a bit bummed, but he was feeling good, and that was the most important thing. He was tired a lot, and we sort of attributed that to the change in diet and the lack of carbs because, well, bread and pasta, we love that. Pardon me. So we changed that, and he lost about 60 kilos over almost a bit over 12 months. And then when we moved up here, we did it quite slowly, probably over the course of a month. So we spent a lot of time driving between Toowoomba and Brisbane, and we didn't eat such a good diet. And he increasingly became sicker and sicker, and he was starting to get stomach pains. And about 5 weeks after we moved up here, he was mowing the lawn, and I could just see he was so unwell. So I took him to the emergency department, and they thought it was just a stomach ulcer. And they ordered a gastroscopy down the throat, and we got that referral from a new GP that we found up here in order to do that. After explaining his symptoms, I guess, the GP thought, well, you know, maybe it's a good idea that we check the other end as well, see what's going on in there. And he wasn't gluten intolerant at all. He had stage 3 bowel cancer at 27 years of age with no family history of bowel cancer at all. So last year was surgery and chemo, and I had no family up here, no friends, barely knew anyone. I work in fashion retail in a store with 3 other people. They were the 3 souls that I knew in Toowoomba, and 2 of them didn't like me. So I didn't really have a support network when all of that happened, and I have now made some very amazing friends. But that day that the surgeon said, I found cancer in your husband, and that was the day that my life changed. And so I got him well on his way, and this year decided that it's my turn. It's my turn to get myself well on my way to a healthy life. And after research and research and research, and feeling quite ill myself, turns out I've got a gallstone and fatty liver and gastroesophageal reflux disorder. Something big had to happen to change my life, and so a vertical sleeve gastrectomy is where I'm headed. So that's a little bit about me, that's a little bit about my story. I will be bringing you a new update on how I'm doing 5 weeks pre-op on Monday, and yeah, I guess I will see you then. Thanks for watching.